The boy couldn't stop trembling. His fingers pointed toward the abandoned shed, as if death itself were inside, and perhaps it was. The biker turned the key, but something in that child's eyes made him stop. Because children don't lie when they're terrified like that. What he didn't know yet was that that shed held more than just shadows. It held witnesses, it held muffled screams, and it held someone who was counting the minutes, hoping that no one would come. If you believe some stories need to be told, subscribe now, and let us know in the comments where you're watching this from, because what happened on that road, nobody expected it. The road was empty. That kind of emptiness that weighs on your shoulders, that makes the motorcycle engine seem too loud. Edge Rider had already ridden 300 kilometers since dawn. No destination, no hurry. Just him, the asphalt, and the wind cutting through his worn leather jacket. He didn't stop because he wanted to. He stopped because he saw the boy. The child was standing on the side of the road, barefoot, wearing a t-shirt 3 sizes too big. She wasn't crying. She wasn't screaming. She just stared fixedly at the road as if waiting for someone who would never return. Edge slowed down. His instinct screamed at him to keep going. It always screamed at him, but he didn't obey. He parked the motorcycle on the gravel. He slowly took off his helmet. The boy didn't move. "Hey, little one, where are your parents?" Silence. Edge got off the motorcycle. The child took a step back. The eyes were too deep for a child. Eyes that had already seen things that shouldn't exist. "Relax. I'm not gonna hurt you." The boy swallowed hard. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. Then he did something that chilled Edge's blood. He pointed. A trembling finger pointed to an abandoned shed across the road. Roof collapsed, windows broken. Tall grass covering the entrance as if the place wanted to be forgotten. Edge looked at the shed, then at the boy. "Is anyone there?" The boy nodded yes, slowly, as if he were afraid that someone might hear. "Who?" The boy didn't answer, but his eyes filled with tears. And then Edge heard a faint, muffled sound coming from inside the shed. It wasn't the wind, it wasn't an animal, it was a groan. Edge felt his stomach churn. He looked around. No cars, no houses, no witnesses besides that terrified boy. He took a step towards the shed. The boy gripped his jacket desperately. He shook. His head. No. But Edge saw something on the ground. Near the entrance to the shed, tire tracks, recent ones. And something else. A pink children's backpack, covered in mud. Edge took a deep breath. He looked at the boy. "Did you see who went in there?" The boy was trembling so much he could barely stand. But he nodded. "Is he still in there?" Another wave. Slower, more frightened. Edge felt the weight of the decision fall on him like a stone. You could call the police, wait, doing the right thing. But the groaning came again. Higher, more desperate, and Edge knew there was no time. Edge knelt in front of the boy. He placed his hands on the child's frail shoulders. The boy didn't look at him. He stared at the ground. Anywhere but that cursed warehouse. "Look at me." The boy slowly raised his eyes. And in that instant, something broke inside Edge. It wasn't pity. It was recognition. He had seen that look before, in the mirror, years ago, when he was the one waiting for someone to show up, for someone to listen, for someone to care. But nobody came. "What is your name?" The boy's voice came out so low that it was almost lost in the wind. "Tyler." "Tyler," Edge repeated as if remembering that name was a promise. "How old are you?" 8 years. And he already carried the weight of a broken man. "Who's in there, Tyler?" The boy swallowed hard. He looked at the shed, then back at Edge. "My sister." The words fell like lead. Edge felt his jaw clench. His breathing became heavier. "How old is she?" 5. 5. Edge closed his eyes for a second. He tried to control the anger that was beginning to rise in his throat like acid. And who's with her? Tyler didn't answer, but the way he shrugged, the way his fingers gripped the hem of his own t-shirt, it said it all. Someone he knew. Someone who shouldn't be with her. Edge took a deep breath. He looked around again. Still nothing. Just the deserted road, the silent shed, and that broken boy in front of him. Tyler. Listen, I'm going in there. The boy gripped Edge's arm tightly. He's going to hurt you. It won't work. He has a knife. Edge stopped. He looked deep into Tyler's eyes. And I have something he doesn't have. What? One reason? Tyler slowly released his arm. He was still trembling. But something changed in his gaze. It wasn't hope. Not yet. It was just a crack. The first crack in a long time. Edge stood up. He took off his jacket. He left only his black t-shirt and heavy boots. He looked at the motorcycle. He took something from the side compartment. A wrench. Heavy. Cold. It wasn't a weapon, but it would do. He looked at Tyler one last time. Stay here. Don't move. If I don't leave in 5 minutes, you run. Understand? Run, and don't look back. Tyler nodded yes. Edge started walking towards the shed. Each step sank into the gravel. The sound echoed too loudly. He knew that whoever was inside could hear him, and I was listening. Because when Edge got within 3 meters of the entrance, the moaning stopped. The silence was worse. Edge stopped at the entrance to the shed. The door was ajar. The rotten wood creaked in the wind. He didn't go in yet. He just stood there, listening. Nothing. But he felt it. He felt that someone was inside. He felt the weight of their gaze. He felt the danger. And I felt something else. Fear. Not his. The child's. Edge closed his eyes for a second. And unintentionally, he returned. He returned to that night, to that house, to that basement. He was 7 years old. His mother's stepfather had come home drunk. Again. And Edge knew what came next. It always did. The locked door, the stairs, the smell of mold and urine, the darkness. He shouted. He banged on the door. He begged. Nobody came. The mother pretended not to hear, as she always pretended, as she always chose the wrong man instead of the right son. Edge spent 3 days in that basement, 3 days without water, without electricity, without anyone. When they finally opened the door, he didn't cry, he didn't speak. He just went upstairs, grabbed his things and left. He never came back. He never trusted again. You never again believed that someone would come when you needed them, until he himself became that someone. Not because I wanted to, because I couldn't stop being that way. Edge opened his eyes. He looked at the shed. He tightened the wrench in his hand. It wasn't about him. It never was. It was about that little girl inside. About Tyler outside. About all the children who wait, who pray, who believe that someone will come, someone had to come, and today, that someone was him. Edge pushed the door open. The creaking echoed loudly, dry, like a stifled scream. Inside, sunlight barely filtered through the broken windows. Shadows covered everything, debris, broken furniture, empty bottles. The smell was unbearable, mold, urine, something rotten, and then he saw, in the corner, behind an overturned table, 2 eyes, small, scared, wide-eyed. A little girl. Dirty hair, torn clothes, scraped knees, mouth taped shut. She didn't move. She just stared at Edge as if he were a ghost. Or worse, as if he were just another monster. Edge took a step, and he heard the voice. One more step, and I'll cut her throat. The voice came from behind, from the shadows, calm, cold, controlled. Edge froze. He turned his head slowly, and he saw a man, thin, dirty, sunken eyes, unkempt beard, and on his right hand, a knife, large, Rusty pointed in the direction of the girl. The man smiled, a crooked smile, without joy, just cruelty. You shouldn't have come. Edge didn't take his eyes off the man, not the knife, not the girl, all at the same time, calculating, measuring distances, time, chances, let her go. The man laughed, a dry sound, without humor. Or what? Are you going to hit me with that key? He spat on the ground. You don't know what you've gotten yourself into, buddy. I'm not your friend. And she's not your daughter. Edge tightened his grip on the wrench. His voice grew lower, more dangerous. She belongs to someone. The man tilted his head. He studied Edge, as if he were deciding whether it was worth killing one more person or not. She's mine. That's a lie. She's my stepdaughter. I have every right. Right? Edge took a step to the side, slowly, testing. Right to what? To lock a child in a shed, to tape her mouth shut? The man didn't answer, but his jaw clenched. The hand holding the knife trembled, not from fear, from rage. You don't understand anything. That bitch of a mother of theirs ran away. She abandoned me. She owes me. And if she doesn't come back, I'll keep what's mine. Edge felt his stomach churn. They are not things. They are whatever I want them to be. The girl began to cry, softly, muffled by the tape. Her shoulders trembled. She tried to stand up, but the man took a step toward her. Be quiet. Edge advanced. The man swung the knife towards him. I told you not to move. But Edge didn't stop. He took another step, then another, slowly, steady, his eyes fixed on the man, on the knife, on the space between them. You're not going to hurt her. You have no idea what I'm going to do. I know. Edge stopped, 3 meters away. You're going to drop that knife. You're going to get out of here, and you're going to pray that I don't see you again. The man laughed, but it was a nervous laugh now. Edge saw it. He saw the doubt, the fear beginning to crack the shell of false courage. What if I don't let go? Edge did not respond with words. He just looked, and in that look, there was something that made the man take a step back. Something he recognized. Something that all cowards recognize when they face someone who has nothing left to lose. It wasn't a threat. It was promised. The man swallowed hard. His hand trembled even more. He looked at the girl, then at Edge, then at the door. He was calculating, wondering if he could get out, if he could run. And then he made the worst possible choice. He lunged at the girl. Edge didn't think. He simply acted. Edge's body moved before his mind, pure instinct. He threw the wrench. It spun in the air, heavy, fast. He hit the man in the shoulder. He screamed. He dropped the knife. He fell to his knees. Edge crossed the shed in 3 strides. He grabbed the man by the collar. He lifted him. He threw him against the wall. The impact cracked the rotten wood. The man tried to fight back. He tried to punch. He tried to kick. Edge blocked. Everything. He grabbed his arm. He twisted it. The sound of the bone cracking echoed in the silence. The man howled. Edge threw him to the ground. He stepped on his chest, hard, holding him in place. I gave you a chance. The man was spitting blood. He was crying. He was groaning. She's mine. She is nothing to you. Edge looked at the knife on the floor. Near his hand. It would be easy. So easy. To pick up that knife. To finish it off, to end that human trash right there. Nobody would know. Nobody would care. That would be justice. But then he heard. A solution. Stifling. Scared. Trembling. Edge turned his head. The girl. Still in the corner. Still with the ribbon in her mouth. But now her eyes were fixed on him. And in those eyes, there was no gratitude. There was fear. I'm afraid of him. Edge released the man. He stepped back. He took a deep breath. His hands trembled, not from fear, from anger, from desire, from everything he wanted to do but couldn't. Not in front of her. Not like that. He looked at the man on the ground. "If I see you again, I won't stop." The man didn't answer. He just crawled backward, groaning, crying. Edge turned his back. He walked over to the girl. He knelt down slowly. He carefully removed the tape from her mouth. She gasped. She coughed, but she didn't speak. Edge tried to smile. He couldn't. "Everything's fine now." But she didn't believe him. And he didn't blame her. Because nothing was right. And perhaps it never would be. He picked the girl up in his arms. She was too light, too small, too fragile. He left the shed. The sun beat down on his eyes. Tyler was still there, standing, waiting. When he saw his sister, he ran. "Lily!" The girl stretched out her arms. Tyler grabbed her. They cried together. Edge stood there, alone, watching it. And for the first time in years, he felt he had done something right. But something inside him told him that it wasn't over yet. Edge led the children to the motorcycle. Lily was, still trembling. Tyler wouldn't let go of her hand. Edge picked up the jacket and put it over the girl's shoulders. It was too big, but it was warm. "Do you live nearby?" Tyler shook his head. "We don't have a home." Edge stopped. He looked at the boy. "Like this?" "My mother. She ran away. From Rick. But he found us. He took Lily. I managed to escape." "And your mother? Where is she?" Tyler looked at the floor. "I don't know." Edge felt the weight of those words. Children alone, homeless, motherless, nobody. It's a monster unleashed. He looked at the shed. The man was still inside, hurt, angry, but alive. And alive meant dangerous. Edge picked up his cell phone. He dialed. The voice on the other end answered on the second ring. "Ghost. It is me. Edge. It's been a while. Where are you?" "Highway 40, near Silver Creek. I need help." "What kind of help?" Edge looked at the children, the kind that the police can't solve. Silence on the other end. Then, "I'm going." Edge hung up. He put his phone away. He looked at Tyler. "I'm going to call the police right now. They'll take you to a safe place." "E.O. Rick. He won't hurt you anymore." But Tyler didn't seem convinced. And Edge didn't blame him, because he knew how the system worked. He knew that monsters like Rick always found a way back. Before Edge could make the call, he heard it. An engine. Coming quickly down the road. An old pickup truck. Red. Dented. Edge acknowledged it. It was the pickup truck that had left the tire marks. Near the shed, and she was coming back. Tyler saw it too. He grabbed Lily. He stepped back. "It's him. He's Rick's friend." The pickup truck braked sharply in front of them. The door opened. A man got out. Taller than Rick. Heavier. Tattoos stretching up his neck. Bloodshot eyes. He looked at Edge, then at the children. "Where's Rick?" Edge positioned himself between the man and the children. "He left." "That's a lie. I saw the motorcycle. I know you went in there." "And I left." The man took a step forward. "These children are coming with me. They won't. It's not up to you to decide." Edge didn't respond. He just stood there, firm. The man laughed. He looked at the motorcycle, then back at Edge. "You're just one person, and I'm not alone." The truck's rear door opened. 2 men came out, young, thin, but armed, with baseball bats. Edge felt his stomach sink. Things were getting out of control. Edge didn't move. He didn't back down. He just stood there, between the children and the 3 men. Calculating. 3 against 1. 2 armed. He unarmed. Those weren't good chances, but he had faced worse. The taller man smiled. "Last chance, motorcyclist. Get out of the way." Edge did not respond. The man nodded. The other 2 stepped forward. Edge took a deep breath. And then he listened. A snoring sound. Low. Deep. Growing. It wasn't an engine. There were several. The 3 men stopped. They looked at the road. Edge smiled for the first time because he recognized that sound. 3 motorcycles appeared on the horizon. Then 2 more. Then 3 more. 8 in total. Harley-Davidsons, chrome, heavy, loud. They stopped in a semicircle around the pickup truck. The engines shut off. The silence that followed was worse than any threat. 8 men got off their motorcycles, leather jackets, patches on their backs, hard stares. The man in front was different from the others. Older, gray hair, long beard, scar on his face. Ghost. He walked over to Edge. He didn't say anything. He just looked at the 3 men, then at the children. Ghost understood everything. He turned to the 3 of them. "You're leaving now." The taller man tried to maintain his composure. "That's none of your business." Ghost took a step forward. "Now it is." Silence. The 2 with the tacos looked at the boss. He looked at the 8 bikers, then at Edge, then at Ghost. He knew. I knew I had lost. This doesn't end here. Ghost didn't answer. He just stared. The man spat on the ground. He went back to the pickup truck. The other 2 followed him. The pickup truck reversed. It turned and disappeared down the road. But everyone knew. It wasn't over. Ghost turned to Edge. "What did you get yourself into this time?" Edge looked at the children. "They need help." Ghost knelt in front of Tyler and Lily. He looked at them with a look Edge knew well, kindness behind a tough exterior. "Are you hurt?" Lily shook her head. Tyler replied, He was going to hurt her." Ghost nodded. He didn't need any more details. He stood up. He looked at the other bikers. He made a sign. 2 of them approached. One was called Tank, big, black, gentle. The other was called Wrench, Mexican, tattooed, sharp gaze. "Tank, call the Cedar Falls shelter. Talk to Sister Margaret. Tell her I have 2 children who need a place to stay." Tank nodded. He picked up his cell phone. Ghost looked at Wrench. "You stay here. If there's any strange movement, you call me." Wrench nodded. Ghost turned to Edge. "And what about that trash in the shed?" Edge looked back. The shed was silent. "He's alive." "I shouldn't." "I know." Ghost studied Edge for a second. Then he nodded. "Let's get the children out of here. Then we can figure out the rest." But before they could move, Tyler spoke. "My mother. I need to find my mother." Edge and Ghost exchanged a glance. "Do you know where she is?" Tyler shook his head. "But she said that if anything happened, I had to go to the gas station on Highway 12. She was going to leave a message there." Edge frowned. "What kind of message?" "I don't know. She just told me to go there." Ghost looked at Edge. "Do you know where it is?" "I know. 15 minutes from here." Ghost thought for a second. Then he nodded. "Take them with you. We'll follow you." But then they heard a siren. Far away, but getting closer. Police. Someone had called. Everyone knew what that meant. Questions, reports, investigation. The children would be taken away. Edge would be interrogated. And Rick and his friends would go free, as they always did. Edge looked at Ghost. "I'm not going to let them take those children, not yet, not before I find their mother." Ghost did not hesitate. "Okay, let's go." They moved quickly. Edge put Tyler and Lily on the bike. Ghost and the others mounted. The engines roared, and before the police arrived, they disappeared. The gas station was empty. Old gas pumps, faded signs, a closed convenience store. Everything covered in dust and neglect. Edge stopped the motorcycle. Ghost and the others stopped behind him. Tyler got off. He looked around, confused. She said, "Here." Edge looked at Ghost. He shrugged. Tyler walked to the store door. He pushed it. It was locked. He looked through the windows. Nothing. "Mom!" he shouted. His voice echoed empty. Nothing. Lily started to cry. Tyler walked around the gas station. Edge followed him. There was trash, old boxes, bottles, but no message, no sign. Tyler stopped. His legs trembled. He fell to his knees. She's not here. Edge knelt beside him. She may not have arrived yet. No. Tyler shook his head. She's not coming. She never comes. The words came out like broken glass, harsh, cutting, full of pain. Edge didn't know what to say. Because Tyler was right. He knew that feeling, that never-ending weight. That hope that always dies. Ghost approached. We need to get out of here. The police will track us down. Edge knew he was right. But to look at those children, to look at that shattered hope, he couldn't. Just a few more minutes. Ghost sighed, but nodded. And that's when Wrench called. Edge answered. What it was. Wrench's voice came out tense. They're back. Who? Rick and the others. But now they've brought more people. A lot of people, Edge. They're armed, and they're saying they're going to find the children, no matter what it takes. Edge felt his blood run cold. How many? 10. Maybe more. I'm backing down. I can't hold on alone. Get out of there. Now. Edge hung up. He looked at Ghost. They're coming. Ghost didn't ask who. He just looked at the other bikers. They understood. Tank said, "We don't have enough weapons for a war." Ghost looked at Edge. "We need a plan." But Edge had no plan. He only had 2 frightened children, a group of armed lunatics coming after them, and a mother who wasn't showing up. Everything was falling apart. And for the first time, Edge didn't know what to do. Edge was about to get up when he heard it. A phone is ringing. It wasn't his. Tyler looked in his pants pocket. Slowly he pulled out a broken cell phone, cracked screen, battery almost dead, but it was playing. He answered. His voice trembled. Hello? Silence on the other end. Then, a woman's voice. Weak, frightened. Tyler? The boy's eyes filled with tears. Mother? Edge approached. Ghost 2. Mom, where are you? Her voice cracked. I can't say. He'll find me. Who? Rick? Yes. Tyler. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I tried. I swear I tried. But he has people. Bad people. And if I go back, he'll kill me. He'll kill you. Tyler was crying now. But I need you. Lily needs you. I know, my love, but you'll be okay. You're strong. Her voice broke. And then Edge heard something in the background. A man's voice, shouting. Their mother gasped for breath. He found me. I have to hang up. No. Mom, wait. I love you all. Don't forget that. The call dropped. Tyler stood still, cell phone in hand, staring at the black screen. Lily approached. Where's Mommy? Tyler didn't answer. He just dropped his phone on the floor. Edge picked up the phone. He tried to call back. Nothing. The number was blocked. Ghost looked at him. What do we do? Edge looked at the children, at Tyler, who seemed to have given up, at Lily, who didn't understand anything. And something inside him broke. No, it wasn't going to be like that. Not this time. He stood up. He picked up his broken cell phone. He looked at the last call he had. Received. He wrote down something he saw. A code, a prefix, Ghost. That number is from the Redstone region. Redstone is 50 kilometers from here. And it's their territory. Ghost understood immediately. You're not thinking of going there. Bowl, Edge, you don't know where she is. You don't know how many there are. You're going to die. Perhaps. And the children? Edge looked at Tyler. Then at Lily. Take them to the shelter. Stay with them. And you. Edge grabbed the jacket. I'm going to get their mother. Tyler lifted his head. He looked at Edge. In his eyes, something had changed. It wasn't hope, not yet, but it was something similar. Ghost sighed. He shook his head. "You're an idiot." "I know." Ghost looked at the other bikers. He made a sign. "Tank, wrench. You're going with him." "Ghost, you don't need to." "Shut up." Ghost placed his hand on Edge's shoulder. "You're not going alone. It's never been that way. It's not going to be now." Edge nodded. He couldn't speak. He just nodded. Tyler approached. "Bring her back." Edge knelt in front of him. "I'm going to try. Promise." Edge hesitated, because he knew he shouldn't make promises. He knew broken promises were worse than no promises at all. But he looked at that boy, and he saw himself, and he promised. "I promise." Redstone was a ghost town. 3 streets, closed shops, abandoned cars. The kind of place where good people didn't stay. Edge, Tank, and Wrench stopped at the entrance. They looked around. "How are we going to find her here?" Tank asked. Edge looked at a house at the end of the street. Lights were on. Cars were parked in front. One of them was the red pickup truck. But they got off their motorcycles. They turned off the engines. Silence. Edge walked to the house, Tank and Wrench beside him. No hurry, steady. The door was ajar. Voices inside. Laughter, soft music. Edge pushed the door open. 6 men, sitting around a table, playing cards, drinking. Rick was among them. Still. Injured, arm bandaged. When they saw Edge, everyone stopped. Rick stood up slowly. He smiled, a sickly smile. "I knew you were coming." Edge looked around. He didn't see the children's mother. "Where is she?" Rick tilted his head. "Who?" "You know who." Rick laughed. The others did too. "The tramp ran away again. This time I let her. She doesn't matter. The children matter. And you're going to tell me where they are." "I am not going." Rick nodded. 2 men stood up. Big, armed, with real guns now. "So we do it the hard way." Edge didn't move. Tank and Wrench stepped forward, next to him. Rick looked at them, then back to Edge. 3 against 6. "And we're armed. Are you stupid or crazy?" Edge finally responded. "Crazy." And he moved forward. Everything exploded at once. Punches, kicks, chairs breaking, tables flipping over, screams. Edge punched Rick in the face. He fell. He got up. Edge hit him again, harder. Rick spat blood. He tried to grab something. Edge grabbed his arm. He twisted it. The sound of bone breaking echoed. Rick yelled. Tank took down 2 men. Wrench knocked out another, but 3 were still standing. And one of them pulled out a gun. He pointed at Edge. Time stood still, and then a shot. But it didn't come from him. It was from outside. Ghost entered through the door, holding a shotgun. He fired into the air. The deafening noise made everyone freeze. "It's over," Ghost said, calm, firm. The man with the gun hesitated. He looked at Rick, then at Ghost, and lowered his weapon. Rick was on the ground, bleeding, crying. Edge knelt in front of him. "Where is she?" I don't know. She ran away." "That's a lie." Rick shook his head. "Desperate. I swear. She ran. I don't know where." Edge looked him in the eyes and saw the truth. He really didn't know. Edge stood up. He looked at Ghost. "She's not here." And then he heard it. A voice, weak, coming from above. "Help." Everyone looked at the ceiling. Edge ran up the stairs. He opened the bedroom door, and he saw a woman, thin, bruised, tied to a chair, her mouth gagged, their mother. Edge removed the tape. He untied it. She fell into his arms, crying, "My children. Where are my children? Safe. They are so safe." She cried some more, and for the first time in a long time, someone was saved. 3 days later, Sister Margaret's shelter was small, clean, quiet. Tyler and Lily were in the living room drawing. Their mother, Sarah, sat beside them, still hurt, still scared, but alive. Edge was standing in the doorway, watching. He hadn't gone inside. He didn't belong there. Tyler saw him. He stood up. He ran towards him. "You're back." Edge nodded. "I promised I'd be back." Tyler looked at his mother, then back to Edge. "You saved her. We saved them." Tyler was silent for a second. Then he did something Edge didn't expect. She hugged him, strong, desperate, as if he were afraid Edge would disappear again. Edge stood still. He didn't know what to do. It had been so long since someone had hugged him. It had been so long since someone had cared. Slowly, he placed his hand on the boy's head. "Everything will be all right now." Tyler let go. He looked at him. In the boy's eyes, there was no more fear. There was something new, something Edge hadn't seen in himself for years. Hope. Sarah approached. She looked at Edge. She tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come out. Only tears. Edge nodded. He didn't need words. He understood. He turned to leave. "What's your name?" Tyler asked. Edge stopped. He looked back. "Edge. Edge," Tyler repeated, as if recording that was important, as if it was something he would never forget. Edge left. Ghost was leaning against the motorcycle, smoking. "Will you be okay?" Ghost asked. Edge looked towards the shelter, at the windows where Tyler and Lily were playing. "They will. Eventually. And you?" Edge got on the motorcycle. "I always stay." But he knew it was a lie. He knew it would never be right. That it never would be. Because every time he saved someone, he remembered who had never saved him. And that pain would never go away. But perhaps it wasn't necessary. Perhaps it was this pain that kept him alive, that kept him coming back, that made him be someone he never was. Ghost mounted his own motorcycle. Where to now? Edge started the engine. He looked at the road. Forward, always forward, because somewhere on that endless road another child was waiting. Another muffled cry. Another chance to be what no one was for him. And he wasn't going to stop. I was never going to stop. Because some people save because they want to. Edge saved because he needed to. And that was the difference between heroes and ghosts. Heroes return home. Ghosts just keep moving forward. The engine roared, and Edge disappeared down the road, leaving only the echo of a promise he always kept, even when it cost everything. If this story touched you, if you believe that there are still people who make a difference when no one is watching, like it now, subscribe, and share, because stories like this need to be told, and the next video will hurt even more. He found a child locked in the trunk. What he did next changed everything. Click now. You won't be able to stop watching.